While mental health remains a major health concern across the nation, it brings with it a myriad of knock-on effects. With 1 in 5 Aussies over the age of 16 struggling with a mental disorder annually, nearly 1 in 4 Australian children live in a family impacted by mental illness. So on the line to discuss this is Renee Coffey, CEO of Australian Kookaburra Kids Foundation, and Jo Fickel, Australian Kookaburra Kids Foundation advocate. Good evening, ladies.
Hello, Bill.
Hello. Now, first to Renee. For those who don't know about the Kookaburra Kids Foundation, what is it and what kind of work does the foundation do?
Thanks, Bill. Great to be speaking with you. Kookaburra Kids works with young people who live in families impacted by family mental illness. And we provide camps, activity days and online connect sessions where young people can come together. They can learn about mental health, they can learn about mental illnesses, they can connect with peers who are from similar backgrounds and from similar family circumstances, and they can also have a lot of fun while they're doing it.
And Renee, children impacted by family mental health illness are set to receive crucial funding for a new holistic program. Tell us about it.
We're incredibly excited. We've just announced a new partnership with the Bupa Foundation for a new program called Regenerate. So the Bupa Foundation is passionate about healthy people and healthy planet, and this new program will see us delivering camps and activity days and online connect sessions across Australia to support young people impacted by family mental illness, with a focus on environmental volunteering, experiences in nature, those wonderful outdoors experiences for young people, as well as the crucial mental health literacy that Kookaburra Kids always provides.
Now, Joanne, you're a huge advocate for the Australian Kookaburra Kids Foundation, which has been driven by your own personal journey. Tell us about that.
It has. I've now got a daughter who's 18 who was struggling for the past 4 or 5 years until we found Kookaburra Kids. It definitely changed her. It just made her resilient so stronger. When we found Kookaburra Kids, she finally found a sense of belonging, a group of people that she could connect to. They didn't individually tell their stories, but she finally found that she was not alone, because her peers at high school, they didn't really get what I was going through, what mental health is. Mental health is such a stigma in society, especially, within adults, let alone peers, high school peers. So she was unable to share her story, whereas with other illnesses, it would be a lot easier to talk about.
That's right. It's kind of like
you're missing that, and Kookaburra Kids was a safe place just to go to feel connected and be around a group of people that were all sharing the same journey. And it was a good distraction, and to be around the volunteers and also the staff, which were amazing, and to do fun activities in a safe place.
So the kids are right, and AKKF became a lifeline for you. How were they able to help, Joanne?
It was a great distraction. It was a great support because they don't provide one-on-one therapy, and my children all have seen their own psychologist.
Yes.
But just to provide that, holistic education on mental health. For example, my children came back and they learned that, it wasn't their fault. They can't catch it. They met friends and they got to experience some things. For example, I was in hospital in a long stay, and they got to do the Harbour Bridge climb and then visit me that night, and with such excitement, they got to share this experience, and they also get to learn, self-care experiences for themselves to make sure that they're okay, and also come up with a support list, informal and formal. And, one of the experiences I remember is when they went on a camp, they rang up in small groups, age appropriately, they rang up the kids' helpline and got to talk to them and experience what would it be like if they were at home to ring the kids' helpline, which was a really good experience.
Yeah. So Renee, this newly funded program will act as a pre-early intervention. How important is that, and how will it work?
It's incredibly important to work with these young people. We know that they're at an increased risk of developing a mental illness later in life, and we don't want to overstate that risk, but it absolutely does exist. So getting in there early and working with these young people who are more vulnerable than the general population,
yes.
giving them those really good skills, giving them that mental health literacy and an understanding of, things to look out for, what to do if you're worried, and really critically, where to go and seek help.
Yes.
We know that people's first experience of seeking help is incredibly powerful and dictates a lot of their other outcomes in terms of future engagements with supports. So for there to be able to be with young people in a safe environment, and as Jo says, the Kids Helpline activity where we make that phone call together, we destigmatise that and we show how easy it is to reach out and seek help when you need it.
So tell me, why is it so important to support children in families that are impacted by mental illness?
We've got new research that's come out. There's been a number of pieces of research over the years and a couple of new ones last year that came out that showed that where a parent has a mental illness, the ones last year were about a father with a depression or a mother with depression, that we are seeing that young people are much more likely to develop a mental illness themselves later in life. But also on top of that, so there's those risks in the future, but day to day, a lot of these young people, they're living in families, they're often taking on more responsibility at home.
Yes.
They want to help out and they take on an awful lot of responsibility, wanting to help out, wanting to make sure mum and dad are okay. And for us, taking them away, the camps are really central to what we do. Having them go away, have some fun. We have a bit of a rule. Some camps make kids do the washing up and the like. We're really clear. The kids are there to be kids that weekend. They don't have to do the washing up. They don't have to do any of that. They're there to relax. We've got some wonderful volunteers that help us. Yeah. But it's about giving them that connection as well with other young people. Yeah. Some really powerful things that I've witnessed in my time with Kookaburra Kids is just that connection where the young people realise, oh, it's not just me. It's the same at your house as well. So that's really powerful too.
Yeah. Now I've got a question for both of you, and it's Joanne first, right? Joanne, what advice do you have for families struggling with mental health challenges?
Definitely, if they've got children, reach out to Kookaburra Kids. They're an amazing support system. They're free. The children can connect with a variety of ways through Zoom, through activity days, through camp days, and it's across Australia. And the children will benefit. And there's amazing volunteers. So if they're anxious or they cater for a variety of different children in their abilities and their ages. And it's just a wonderful program for them to be able to, because early intervention is so important for our children with living with a parent with a mental illness. My eldest daughter would not be where she is today if it would not be for Kookaburra Kids. She has made a friendship through Zoom, the Zoom Kookaburra Connect sessions, who lives in Queensland, and they've still kept in contact now.
Yeah.
So what connection, and it's just somebody said to me, Kookaburra Kids said they deliver programs on the kids' grounds, on the kids' turf, and they definitely are true. And, I'm a big advocate for mental health, and Kookaburra Kids has definitely done that for early intervention for children.
So without the unwavering support of the Australian Kookaburra Kids Foundation, where do you think you'd be without them, Joanne?
Children would not be as happy as they are. My eldest would not be where she is now. My eldest would not be as confident to talk about my mental illness. My children aren't as afraid to and open. We have open and honest conversations now about my illness. We have open, and I go regularly back to hospital. We have open and honest conversations. And I think Kookaburra Kids has helped build that confidence and helped build that confidence to go, are you okay, Mum? Or, have that conversation with my husband as well. Yeah. And I think that's very important. They've given them that confidence and also made them feel that they're part of a sense of belonging, that they're not the only one living in this situation, and that it's normalised, making mental health normal, and it's okay.
And what advice would you give, Renee?
I think I echo Jo's words absolutely, and what Jo's modelling there. I get to work with an amazing clinical team. We've got in-house clinicians that work at Kookaburra Kids. What they've told me and what the research says is that we need to be talking to young people and having those open conversations about our mental health, how we're feeling, exactly as Jo says, because what we do know about young people are that they are astute observers of their environments, and sometimes we think we're doing a good job by sheltering them and maybe not telling them what's going on, but you'll be really surprised when you have those conversations how much they're picking up, how much they know, and where they don't know, they fill in the gaps themselves. And it's much better, as Jo says, to be having those open conversations, to be bringing it out in the open and making sure that the children understand this isn't their fault. And some of those myths that Jo was mentioning earlier, all of that is absolutely critical, and Kookaburra Kids plays an important role in enabling families to have those conversations.
And finally, Renee, where can Australians go to learn more?
Oh, please visit our website, www.kookaburrakids.org.au. We've got all the details of our new Regenerate program, which is supported by the Bupa Foundation. They're all listed online. You can make a referral. Anyone can make a referral, or the young person. So get online, you can refer there, and you can also volunteer. And we're always looking for volunteers. I know Jo mentioned how wonderful they are. Our volunteers are amazing. So you can refer a young person, or you can volunteer online.
Renee Coffey, CEO of Australian Kookaburra Kids Foundation, Jo Fickel, Australian Kookaburra Kids Foundation advocate. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for giving us your time tonight.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you so much. And thank you to Jo as well.
Thank you.
You're with the Radio Reverend Bill Crews.